Hi all, welcome to my most consistent team of the season predictions video. Can see this being quite interesting in terms of how it will be done, but also more a case of who will actually get the nod in. There's a lot of players that I think could sneak in, but also some that I may have missed, all told. But let me know, folks, in the comments down below who you think will get a team of the season most consistent card. As you can see by the thumbnail, some nice cards to potentially look forward to. So let's jump in. So we start off with Dubrovka, Handanovic and Berggren. The most notable, when you notice it, is Berggren. Like, Berggren has been so close multiple times to a special card. He's not even had an upgrade. Is he getting destined for a team of the season card? And if so, is it going to be better or worse than an 88 rated card? I really hope it's better than 88 rated. But he's most notable. Dubrovka has been very consistent as well for Newcastle. I know a few others may consider like Etheridge, for example, which I can completely understand. He's been very impressive for Cardiff. And then Handanovic, been pretty much always consistent for Inter Milan. Now, with each of these, you may see them feature in their own league team of the season, or someone else may get given the nod above them. But regardless, all three, for my personal opinion, have definitely merited a spot. But Dubrovka could easily be, say, 87, Berggren could easily be given like a 90 rated, and Handanovic could potentially be, say, 94, 95 rated. But all three, in my personal view, have merited at least the most consistent spot. But it's obviously a question of wherever or not they end up in their respective league team of the season. Now, defenders could go any one of which ways. As you can see, we've obviously got two Porto players for a kickoff. I would imagine Teles has a very strong shout of featuring regardless. Depends where he is given a most consistent, where he's given a rest of the world, where he's given a Liga NOS, however it may be played. I honestly feel he will get in regardless. He's more than deserved a team of the season card, and will be very appealing, I would say, for anyone that's looking for an alternative to like Alexandro, for example. Then obviously Philippe being very consistent as well for Porto. Eder Militao could end up in like rest of the world or Liga NOS, depending how it plays out. So you could end up seeing like 3 Porto defenders suddenly making up your back line, and all of them being Brazilian. Marcelo, another Brazilian that stood out for Lyon this season. Won't be the most appealing card in the world, possibly from a pace view, but he has more than merited his spot into the team of the season. Atal, another key focal point in Nice's season. Got a good upgrade earlier in the year, and I would imagine a team of the season boost onto him as well could definitely make him a lot more appealing, and also can easily be then linked up to Mahrez for like EPL Lagoon hybrids. And then Halstenberg, he could easily end up in the Bundesliga team of the season. He's more than merited his spot with being very consistent for Leipzig this season. Surprisingly not had an inform, but it is what it is. Then our 5 midfielders, as you can see, we have 2 in the Chinese league, in Paulinho and Oscar. We don't know fully how it's going to be played out, but I feel Oscar and Paulinho both have stood out very impressively for their teams in China. But at the same time, depending with most consistent, because the Chinese league's a new league this year, and it's also not long started back up, the big question is, would they be given priority, or would the Chinese Super League get given its own team of the season and then feature maybe later down the line, after maybe say a month or 2, depending how it plays out. So being very consistent for Atletico Madrid. You could also see other midfielders sneaking in from Atletico, but I feel Saul deserves most. Vertu, I realised, has an inform, so I slipped up on that, so completely ignore his option. A bit of a donut move by me, but Vertu, would end up in the Serie A team this season. So ignore him, which was my own fault. I only realised that now as we're recording. So a bit of a slip up there by myself. It is what it is. I completely forgot they actually had an inform. I thought I've got everyone, and then Vertu, and I'm kind of toiling for another midfielder. It kind of stood out for me. And De Jong, big question is, does he go above his Future Stars card? That is the big kind of talking point. But I feel he would get in regardless. Then other midfielders that stand out for me are Cyprien, Udan, Allen, Ben Arfa and Duda. Two players that surprisingly have not, well, I'll tell a lie, three players that have surprised me not getting a special card is Cyprien. I'm surprised he's not even got given a foot swap card. He would have been very beastly in the All 80 club, maybe he's been saved for a Team of the Season card. Udan, surprised he's not bagged an inform. Been very impressive for Reims this season. Their top goal scorer, been given some good match ratings from L'Equipe throughout the year, and in all honesty I'm quite shocked that he's not been given a nod in some capacity, or even given an upgrade for that matter. Allen, another player that's been very consistent for Napoli, bagging a good upgrade earlier in the year and could get a nice healthy boost on top for a Team of the Season, especially with his League SBC card. Ben Arfa obviously has his Carnival card, and I think his Team of the Season would go above it, where it's like say 2 or 3 ratings, I'm not 100% sure. And then someone like Duda, very consistent and very impressive for Hertha Berlin, surprisingly not bagged an inform, or he's been nominated like 2 or 3 times for Player of the Month and sadly not won the award. So I'm quite surprised on that alone how he's not went from a silver to a gold. So potentially could be even like for an 85 rated card, could easily be one of those players that could end up in Serie A. Same for Allen for that matter, and even same for Udan. Like they could end up all in their respective league team of the seasons. Some forwards and wingers to consider. We've got Berggren of Psv. He was like player of the week a few weeks back and surprisingly never got an inform. I was like, what on earth is going on? Delort's been very consistent for Montpellier, bagging a lot of goals for them this season, and I think he's been on the cusp a couple of times of an inform, but surprisingly not given the nod. Same with Kadri, he's another player that's came close a few times for an inform, just hasn't happened. Now in Glen Morris' case, he has a man of match card. Now because of that, I'm not 100% sure if he would factor in for a Team of the Season Most Consistent, or where he could end up as like a Team of the Season card for the EPL, maybe as like an objectives card. But if Brighton were to be potentially relegated or don't kind of pick up form pronto, then him entirely may not happen. And then Podence for the Greek League, been very consistent, could end up in the Most Consistent, rest of the world, something like that, but he has definitely merited his spot. Been a very good player for Olympiacos this season, and as you can kind of see the trend, it's like 86s, 87s, kind of being the standard bearing for the ratings for these players. And then some objectives cards that I quite fancy to try that again, potentially feature Onana of Ajax, being consistent domestically and in Europe for Ajax, and more than deserves his spot. Then Nkulu, another player that could easily feature in the Serie A Team of the Season alongside Izzo, but could get his own spot in this Team of the Season and would be more than deserved. I can never say his name, Luka Milovijevic. He has more than deserved a spot regardless in Team of the Season. I feel lots of penalties scored for him, lots of goals, lots of assists, been very impressive for Crystal Palace. And Trossard of the Pro League, another notable shout I feel that's deserved his spot from a defensive view and would be more than deserving of a spot in the Team of the Season. But with, as you've seen that we've covered 4 different leagues and 4 potential like team of the seasons, as it were. You may find that Onana, Trossard, Milojevic and Nkulu, each of them may all individually feature in their own respective team of the seasons, depending whether or not they get an objectives card, or depending whether or not they feature in like individual leagues for that matter. But I think Most Consistent has potential for some nice individual cards, some that may excite me, some that may not, but we'll see what happens as time progresses. Let me know, folks, in the comments down below who you fancy for a team of the season Most Consistent card, bar Verb 2 of course. So take it easy all, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all later.